Hey, welcome back to another video. Today we're at Kondalilla Falls. I'm shooting a bit of gold now, or a little bit, whatever was left. I'm a little bit behind schedule. As per normal, I'll talk to you more about it after this intro. Let's hit it. There's the falls coming down. And again, it's had a little bit of a trickle this morning, not what we'd call, not like last year where it was just gushing. The area I'm now is would have been well underwater. This rock is definitely underwater, and I think last time I had to shoot from over on the top of this rock, and even over there was coming down. If you have watched the videos for a while, even down there was just gushing over. So we had like a little twin falls going. So it's definitely changed. Still beautiful. I'm the only one here, so that's always nice. It's a big falls, probably 50, 80 meters, I reckon, roughly. And definitely, it's always good to come back to places, even then it's probably not at its. Oh, just put you back down there. Even when it's not at its best, it's always sort of good to come back, I think, and just have a revisit, because there's going to be stuff that you couldn't see before or was overshadowed by the big falls and all the amazing action that was happening then, and you get to see something different now. I did see in the little rock pools before a big eel about this long, big flat-tailed eel. Yeah, so pretty cool. There's a bit of moss over here I can shoot. Gonna have a bit of a play around this area. Currently I just did a bracketed shot of the falls, vertical mode over the 15 to 35 on. Bam, bum, boom. And at that stage there was a little bit of pink going across the clouds, so hopefully I caught that. Wasn't much of a gold now. It's a thin layer of high cloud today. No fog or anything, which again in previous videos have come, there was fog all through here, so I was wondering if I was going to get any of that, but alas, no luck in that department. So we're going to finish shooting this. It's currently at 7 minutes. It's 13:39 because it's obviously only just getting a bit of daylight, and then we're going to shoot around the bottom of the falls circuit and have a look at that, because I actually haven't done that before, because last time I got to here it was just so good and I shot here and that was the end of the video. Anyway, we'll keep shooting. There's still a little bit of colour in that sky. I'll spin you around and show you a bit more of the falls with the camera, and we'll see what we go from there. So there's all the gear. I had the gloves out today, so they were actually coming pretty handy. And I'll just show you. So we're shooting at the falls, and the water I'm trying to get to swirl is just this water down here. So you can see that little bit of foam coming off because it's so still here at the moment. There's no flow, so we're getting a lot of movement and a bit of circular motion in that white water down the bottom. And then you're coming up to the top of the falls, and then you can see the clouds with a little bit of colour up the top there. So hopefully that's going to come through in the photos. It was pinks and oranges earlier on when I did the bracketed shots, so hopefully I was able to capture some of that. Now also we've got stuff that probably wasn't shown before because of the waterfalls. We've got all this moss in here as well, so I can even get the 24 to 105 on and maybe shoot some of that. And then even up here as well, we've got some options. Again, little waterfalls just up here, and the moss, you can see that up there. So we've got options there, and then we're going to walk down. So I'll probably spend about half an hour or so just shooting here, and then we'll move on and find something, whatever else we can find.
Just left the falls. I'm just coming up, and if you can see where I've got Winston with the camera, these beautiful steps and all the moss and the foliage on the right hand side here, all that lovely green coming up. So I've had to focus stack it, so I've got the bottom step in here and then middle and then up the top here, and yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm just shot's just finished and it's about 13 seconds, so I've got it bracketed. Let's see if that'll come up a bit better. Well, that looks pretty good. Probably around there, which is 6 seconds. That's very, very nice. And yeah, just really good, just sort of good leading line coming up with that beautiful colour, and then that beautiful background of that dense rainforest with the ferns and everything just flowing through. Pretty darn special. That's sort of what we're looking at. That gives you an idea. And then yeah, that lovely background up here. It comes up really nice. So yeah, had to stop. I got about 10 meters and had to stop. As always. Okay, I'm going to keep walking up around these beautiful steps to the bridge and then walk around the rest of the loop and see what else we can find. Rightio. So bottom of the falls, that's where we've been. We're going down the Kondilla Falls Circus over. I mentioned in many videos, part of the Great Walk on the Sunshine Coast. 3 to 4 day hike you can do, and get to see all this beautiful scenery. Alright, light's really nice in the moment, it's nice and soft. So the clouds are there's a fair bit of cloud cover, which is really just dampening down that sunrise, so it's not too bright. And yeah, it's really nice. So let's back up to where we were up the top of the falls, or the falls. You said this was all flowing, like just really flowing fully last time we were here. Now it's just a gentle little trickle in a stream, just scrambling around the rocks, and you can see here just this still water just after little falls or little trickle coming through, and all the froth or the bubbles or whatever have just stood still and not sort of moved. So I got a quick shot of that. Well, that was pretty cool, something different you don't see. Like you'd think it'd sort of just disappear or dissipate after a while, but yeah, just stuck there. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then just crawling around all these rocks here, down under the bridge, and trying not to fall in the water. And then I got a quick little shot of this little rock here with the moss all over it. Don't know if maybe just not enough light, maybe needs a little bit more direct light on it, but yeah, it's nice little shots floating around. Yeah, so not sort of thinking big at the moment, trying to look for small little compositions. Break it down, and there's a lot here, and it's very Looks a little bit, I guess, messy. Not messy, but just there's a lot there. But the little intricate little things like roots with the moss on it and little pockets like that. That's sort of what I'm sort of looking for. Stuff like that I can use, and just thinking small, I guess, instead of looking for that grand landscape. Just trying to find something that I can really just concentrate on and get to. So we're gonna probably walk down to those rocks down there, and that'll probably be as far as I go, and then I'll walk back around the rest of the loop. But keep looking and see if I can find something small and something nice. Sometimes you just gotta, when it's too big, sort of think small, and helps you just sort of find something. There's so much here, it's hard to sort of do that. So it's a bit of an art form. It's a good skill to practice. But absolutely gorgeous no matter what. That light a little bit harsher now. So yeah, again, that makes it a tricky, trying to get that right light on the right subject as well too. So keep looking. Rightio, so this little rock here with these beautiful little just twigs growing out of the moss, which is pretty awesome. I tried to isolate this one here and the two at the back by shooting with the rocks over here, and also with that white and the moss over there as well. So tried to just isolate them. I shot from over here, coming back this way to try and, because the light's coming down this way here, so I wanted to get on the side, shooting across. So the light's there, so come across from the side, and then also come up really close in here with the f4, 24 to 105, trying to isolate this one, shooting that way, and then also those ones. Hopefully it worked out well, because it's just one of those things that just stands out that you know is definitely worth a photo. It's just a rock in the middle of the creek, covered in moss and these beautiful little weeds or whatever they are growing on. I have no idea. But just spectacular to see that nature's just never gives in, does it? Just keeps going. So pretty cool and worth the shot. Hopefully one of those 3 or 4 different angles I got come up good. They did look all right in the camera, and hopefully they go good. Now we've come down probably about 50, 100 meters from the bridge. There's a little section over here I want to go and have a quick gander at, and then we'll head back up. Some beautiful little compositions here and there, stuff like that, just bringing it down small, trying to not see all this massive rainforest, and it's very hard to capture all that in one photo, but little shots like that where you can see nature at its best, just pumping, just keeping alive, and just never gives in. So very cool. That's what you do as a photographer as well, never give in, because it's hard work, especially when you've got to crouch with bad knees. That's no fun. Rightio, now I'm going to dodge the little rocks to get back across so I don't fall in the river, because it'll be freezing. But yeah, there. So you can see it there in the water. Just isolated and just sort of just sitting there, just standing right out. So it's sort of one of those ones where it's pretty easy sort of composition to see. It's just getting it to work and seeing what your mind sees, I guess, translating that into a photograph. And I guess that's realistically what photography is all about. I think at school I realised that I was a terrible drawer, no good at maths and all those other things, but because everything I could do in my head I couldn't put on paper. But when someone gave me a camera the first time and said, here, go do that, it just was a way for me to translate what I was thinking and what was in my head actually onto paper or onto a print or onto a screen. Nowadays you can see it on the screen. So I think it's pretty cool. It sort of gives, don't know if what that means to me, if I can't draw or can't do any of the other stuff, but yeah, the easiest way for me to express my, I guess, feelings and what I see and what I appreciate is by photography. And that's sort of, just pops out and I can see it. I have this image in my head, and as soon as I take the photo I know sort of what I want, what I can get out of it. And that's what photography for me is, and hopefully that's what it probably does for you as well. Helps us people that are terrible drawers. Right, I'll keep moving down here, see if we can find anything else. Found Thinking Little again, as we just talked about. This tree's just grown in the river. It's got all this beautiful little intricate moss growing up its branches. And that light, that early morning light's coming through and just bouncing off, and just those little ferns are just catching like ferns do, which is what they're good at. And then even one over there, all the branches just covered in these little thorny moss type plants or whatever they are. But yeah, it's probably too close. I don't know if you can focus in on that. But yeah, it comes up pretty good. So hopefully I'll capture that. I did have a quick little walk down there and there was nothing much else, so I'm going to head back up this way. All by myself, no one around. Only seen one person this morning. And that's the beauty about some of these parks in Queensland. You can come down and you can really focus and you have the place to yourself. You don't have to worry about dodging and weaving people. So yeah, it's quite good. It's a pretty magnificent spot. You've got all this natural beauty, ferns, moss. Because of that rainforest, you get the shade and the shadows, so it's not always blown out. Even on a bright day, you can still get something. And even when the water's not flowing like it was, there's still a absolute ton of stuff you can come and see. Rightio, so this little island rock, we took some shots of it before when they're coming our way, but I was walking back this way towards the bridge and noticed, and I wanted to see if I could get it in with this tree in the background. There's a beautiful big tall tree coming out of the rocks in the middle of the river. Massive big boulders, so sort of gives you a good foreground, and then this big, I guess, structure at the back of it. And it came out pretty good. I did have to bracket the shots, which worked out okay. Obviously shot there, shot on the middle rock, and then the shot on the tree. 24mm on the 24-105, f8, nice and sharp. 3 shots, and looks pretty good. Circular polarizer to cut the reflection off that, because I want that to stand out, that rock to stand out on the island. Hopefully that'll work. Waterfalls in the background, so hopefully you can hear me. And then obviously the beauty of having Winston, such a big tripod, and I have to carry him around all the time, is for locations like this, where the only way I could get it nice and level and get the shot I wanted was to have the big boy holding us up straight. Even though I didn't leave it on when I come to grab you guys, he's still pretty rock solid. So the 3-legged thing's Winston's just awesome. It's got those nice big long legs when you really got to take up a space like this and give yourself a chance to the spot. It wasn't bright enough to hold handheld, and because it's on a slope, it's hard to stay balanced, so there would have been wobbling. You don't have to use a tripod, so it's the only way I could do the shot. We've got a bit of light coming through the back, so that should bounce off the tree, so that should be pretty good. It's giving the tips of those big rocks a bit of colour and a bit of light as well, and also it's coming washing through over the moss over that rock, so it should work out pretty good. A pretty good shot. I've got some great shots down here at the river this morning. I'm going to head back up on the loop now. We're sort of done with the river, and we'll see what we can find on the walk up. Maybe some nice ferns with some light, more probably so handheld from here on in. It's been a really good morning. Finally a little bit warmer. I could get the jacket off. It was freezing this morning, but it's absolutely lovely now. So a little bit of humidity's popping up out of the rainforest. That sun's baking the rainforest, and you get that little bit of humidity. But yeah, yet again another lovely morning at Kondilla. So we'll head back up and we'll have a chat on the way up and see what else we can find. Oh, and if you haven't got one already, Polar Pro, the Defender covers for your lenses, bloody brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, so we've mentioned a few times about it being the Great Walk. As you can see here, we're just coming back up the hill towards the rock pools and the car park. And you can head off towards Barron Pocket Dam, which we've been to before. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And that's 9.1k walk from here, so it'd be a beautiful walk if you had the time, which I don't generally have. But if you're into walking and hiking and camping and stuff like that, definitely want to just a magical place to come and do it. You definitely wouldn't be disappointed. These beautiful big trees. Very nice. Now you're in one of Queensland's rainforests when those big suckers are hanging around. Very nice. Healthy too. Okay, we're back at the rock pools at the top of Kondilla Falls. Circuit completed. Not much to do on the return side. With no water on, it's pretty nonchalant. But top of the falls, as we've seen down the bottom, definitely wasn't running much. And this is all flowing down through here. And a beautiful blue, bright day, bit of cloud around, so not too bad. So that's the top of the falls, that's where it starts, and then drops straight down, that's 60 odd metres. There's the rock pools. That's where everyone comes to swim. Not a bad little spot. Day. Some good shots down the bottom. Pretty happy with that, how it turned out. Totally different from last time. This was pouring over, this was flushing right out here, and the falls were pumping, there was a mist. Yeah, totally different. Obviously, not as much rain this year, definitely backed off on the rain, so it makes a big difference to a place like this.
but still beautiful. As you can see down the bottom, some of those photos was pretty darn special. Right, I'm done and dusted. I'm going to see you all next week. Have a great day and stay safe. Peace.